What if I'd gone to the movies?
Here we go!
So, these past few weeks, there's been something that people on the internet have been pretty unanimously up in arms against. Now, as hard as it is to believe that people on the internet are angry about a thing, here we are. The issue at hand is Disney Channel's TV movie adaptation of the old series Kim Possible. The first image of the show was released in July of last year to, for the most part, pretty overwhelmingly negative reactions. There were people ripping the fact that a teenage character was being played by a 16-year-old. A lot of people complaining that the character didn't look like she did in animation because people went pretty hard on the costume itself for not being more revealing and not looking exactly like the old costume. Falling into that category is my personal favorite of these reactions, which is this hilarious and insanely original joke that, here we go. The costume in the movie looks like it's from Party City. Carlin couldn't write that. But honestly, for at least 2 weeks after the photo was released, I couldn't escape the negativity around it, whether on social media or in real life, and it was terrible. I grew up watching the original Kim Possible show all the time. I have so much love for Kim Possible. But seeing the backlash didn't make me angry towards the new adaptation. It made me angry towards the fans pushing this negativity. I mean, these mostly grown young adults were actually bullying this young actress online because she doesn't look like a cartoon. Speaking of which, that young actress's name is Sadie Stanley, who got a great gig playing this character and was obviously super psyched, as anyone would be. After only 4 days of the first photo being released, she felt the need to put out a statement about all the negativity she had received over the new look of Kim Possible. She was 16 years old at the time, and she felt like she had to come out and say this. It's so messed up that online reactions to a Disney Channel movie got so intensely negative that a 16-year-old actress felt like she had to say these things. I can't wrap my head around that. And you can tell her entire family was so stoked for her about the part. Her dad changed his Twitter name to Kim Possible's dad, and after the backlash, her mom posted this tweet, which includes the phrase, "You're a perfect Kim, they'll see." That's honestly so sad, and it's a direct result of what I like to call false ownership. When a fan base grows so attached to an IP, a movie, a TV show, book series, whatever, that they feel as though they own it. They know what's best for it. Oh, you're making a new Kim Possible movie? Well, I watched the show growing up, and I can tell by this one photo that you have no idea what you're doing. Homie needs to be all the way blue or there will be mass chaos. Alright, we're gonna go bully this young actress getting her big break real quick. It's childish, uncalled for, and just mean-spirited in general. And of course, the avalanche of negativity didn't stop when the first trailer and subsequent clip were released from the film last month. The general consensus was that this movie is already ruining everyone's childhoods, which is an argument I've never understood. Unless Disney decides to go back in time and prevent you from watching the original series, I hate to break it to you, but your childhood remains pretty intact. They're not taking anything away from you. Now, what did I think of the footage? I won't judge the quality of the movie over a trailer and a clip that are each just barely over a minute long, but I don't think it looks amazing. It doesn't really look much better or worse than a Disney Channel movie, because that's what it is. But see, the thing is, it doesn't really matter what I think of it, because it's not made for me. Here's the thing, they're not destroying your childhood or taking away the original series. They're creating something entirely new here. And get this, you might not be the target audience. And that's okay. But to one afflicted with false ownership, it can't not be made for you. If it's not made for you, it's not made right. One of the initial reactions leads me to my next point. Now, just reading this tweet is basically the epitome of what I've been saying, and then he gets to the point about Incredibles 2. If you've missed this, the past few times there's been a newer sequel to an older kids movie, a very loud percentage of the movie's fan base feels complete and total ownership of the new film. Now, a few years ago, this idea first manifested itself actually pretty wholesomely with posts like this, anticipating sharing the experience with the younger kids. But about the time that these movies actually started coming out, the general attitude transitioned more to a, nah, f those kids. This movie belongs to us, which is how we end up with kiddos get out of the way, or this post about how the new Lion King is for grown folks only. And I would see these posts every time a movie like that came out. And it's exhausting. Adults talking about how they'll keep kids from movies that are essentially made mostly for kids. Or even if they're not speaking against the kids, just speaking about how adults will enjoy the movie more. Like just weirdly asserting their perceived ownership over something to show that they're the real fans. Because take Incredibles 2 for instance. There's no way that between 2004 and 2018, the original could have resonated with an entirely new generation of kids also pumped to see the sequel. No, if you weren't alive in 2004, you don't matter. This is our movie. And to bring it back to Kim Possible, I do know that the entire fan base isn't like this. There's a few shining lights that recognize the new version for what it is and choose not to spread hate about it. But to those that I've spoken about, I'd like to issue a cautionary plea to stop it. If you don't check your false ownership at the door, there's a good chance we could end up with something like Star Wars, where a silent minority of the fan base has become so entitled that when a Star Wars movie is released that they don't like, they take it upon themselves to hate on it 24/7, petition to get the president of Lucasfilm fired, and harass two of the actresses of the film off social media. I've been a massive Star Wars fan all my life. I didn't love Rogue One. Do you know what I did about it? I kept it mostly to myself and analyze what it was that caused it to not fully connect with me. What I didn't do was endlessly tweet at Gareth Edwards about how he ruined my childhood, or bully Felicity Jones off of Instagram for thinly veiled misogynistic reasoning. That state of mind has isolated a seemingly large portion of the Star Wars fanbase, and it's ridiculous. So here's my plea to all those who will be cutting kids in line for The Lion King, who enjoyed Incredibles 2 much more than children, or complaining about how Kim Possible isn't wearing a crop top and cargo pants. Stop. Just calm down. Let it go. All these things are entertainment, and if they're not entertaining you, don't entertain them. Do you know what I mean? If you didn't like a Star Wars movie, don't commit your online presence to spreading hate about it. If a movie isn't for you, move on. Because the original Kim Possible series isn't running regularly anymore. This new movie might be a great way for younger kids to connect with the character, who could then go back and watch all the old episodes. Let go of this false sense of ownership. Not everything has to be made for you. Other people can enjoy things that you enjoy. Let kids see movies they would love. In fact, take the kids to see the movies. I mean, only if you know the kid, don't just take a kid, but encourage passing on love for the things that you love. Because if you claim to be a true fan of something, the best thing you can do is share it with as many people as possible. Happy New Year. If you have been with the channel, I'm back. We're making some things. If you're new to the channel, my name is Daniel. Nice to meet you. There are other people with me, just usually not on screen. You'll meet them eventually. But yeah, links below. You can find Instagram, Twitter, my Letterboxd. Like this video and subscribe if you want to see more videos like it. Maybe not every Tuesday, but every soon. Every soon.